Welcome back to the Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave. It's time to ask the analyst. We head to Twitter and we say, people,
Love Twitter.
Talk to us.
Love the Twitter.
We want to hear from the people. Besides this picture of us with the tiger, we're going to look at
I think that was a pretty great. That was great.
People asked to say. All right, here's one we got from our friend Bob. Bob says, as the best players in the world struggle at Chambers Bay, what amateur would want to play it? Do you guys ever think that there's a guy who would want to go? I know we talk about playing golf, and all three of us here have.
Right?
Who wouldn't want to play there? My golf clubs, because everyone would be broken in half.
I would go there just
championship golf course.
Just to watch the train go by, so I could distract myself.
I am far and away the worst golfer in this room, probably in this city.
I don't know. I was pretty bad the other day, 64 for 9. But no, whether it's Oakland Hills, whether it's Bethpage, whether it's Pebble Beach, Chambers Bay, which has only been around for like 8 years, there is no way that I think any amateur that loves the game of golf would not want to play that.
It's true. I've played some really tough courses just because I've said I played this really tough course. I broke 100 like once ever at that. All right,
I was there for that.
PJ gets into us using the hashtag 7SportsCave. How about baseball outlaws those arm and elbow pads? And Jose Tabata would maybe think twice about leaning in. Going back to my favorite debate of the day. That what was he doing?
You know what? I had to rewatch that video because that was my initial thought was if you're sticking your elbow into it, you're risking some injury there, right? You don't want to get hit on the bones. You can take one in the meat of the leg. You can take one in the middle of the back. But, yeah, I don't think you can outlaw them just because there's so many guys that have gotten hurt with that sort of thing. But it's not a bad thought when you see somebody do something like that.
What they could do is make that less of a questionable call, where there's kind of it's something that goes into a process where if they're leaning into it with that, if that will count as a hit by a pitch more so than it does. Well, it won't count as much.
Yeah, the umpire has that discretion.
He did have the discretion, and I think that one he might have been able to say, "Hey, I saw you dip in there. You got hit. Sorry about that. Let's go again."
That I could see being changed, but they're never going to get rid of those pads because people, it'll be a players' union thing, it'll be a contract thing, injuries. Oh, it's your fault that I'm out for a year.
Involved, yep. Forget that.
Dale brings up a really good point about the Tigers' struggling season so far. He tweets in, the Tigers just don't care enough. They say the fans don't understand it's a long season, but that's a cop-out. That's an interesting point of view. I tend to think that the Tigers players don't necessarily listen to what the fans have to say because, look, guys, at the end of the day, fans and even us who are close, but the mediator between, we don't really quite understand what they go through on a day-to-day basis. No. So it's really tough for them to it is a long season, and these guys have to move on.
It is a long, baseball more than any other sport. I mean, I know that, Dave, the NFL is kind of like a 365 thing these days, but it's not 162 games plus spring training where these guys are all around each other. I don't want to say it's a more relaxed environment because they're still professionals.
Right.
But this is, you can't get too high and too low after one game. But right now, it just seems like the locker room atmosphere, there are issues. It's not good.
Not good. Well, guys, thanks for getting your tweets in. I got a lot. I wish I could get to all of them, but we appreciate it each and every week. Use that hashtag 7SportsCave, and hopefully you, too, can get on the TV screen. All right, coming up next, the hottest takes. It's a new segment we're starting here on the Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave. They haven't talked about these topics yet, so they have no idea what's coming. You do not want to miss this. It's going to be very good, especially if you have a Michigan State or Michigan lean. Come back right after the break. Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave.